This video is brought to you by Exfoliate, and we're talking about what Young Living recommends for detoxification. There's a bunch of them. Heliochrysum, which is very expensive. And also, on a side note, that's the one that'll stop bleeding. Juniper, rosemary, dill, clove is used to chelate metal ions. Juva cleanse, it's either a blend or a powder. We have both. We have a couple blends: Sacred Mountain Peace and Calming, and GLF, which is a blend of grapefruit, celery seed, spearmint, hyssop, and heliochrysum. We have supplements: Cleansing Trio, which is Comfort Tone, Essential Zyme, and ICP, Juvatone, and Longevity capsules. We also recommend hyssop, lemongrass, patchouli. Patchouli digests toxic waste. Lemongrass is for the lymphatic system, and hyssop is for the respiratory system. These discharge toxins, mucus, cleanses the circulatory system, toxin removal. Anyway, I'm reading about the law. I just picked a random law about hunting. There's a couple different laws. There's for big game and small game. I'm not going to read them all, obviously, but overview, subsection B, section 2321. It's the unlawful killing or taking of big game during closed season. 2322, prohibited devices and methods. 2323, tagging and reporting big game kills. 2324 talks about parties hunting big game. 2325 is cooperation after lawfully killing a big game. 2326 is excess killing of big game. 2327 is subsequent killing if big game is unfit for human consumption. 2328 shipping and transporting big game. And 2329 is an additional penalty for poaching. I'm going to read section 2307, the unlawful taking or possession of wildlife game. It is unlawful for any person to aid, abet, attempt, or conspire to hunt for, or take, or possess, use, transport, or conceal any game or wildlife unlawfully taken, not properly marked, or any part thereof, or to hunt for, trap, take, kill, transport, conceal, possess, or use any game or wildlife contrary to the provisions in this title. And then section B talks about hunting before and after the hunting hours. It is unlawful for any person to take, injure, kill, possess, or transport, or knowingly aid, abet, assist, attempt, or conspire in any manner to take, injure, kill, possess, transport any game or wildlife or any part thereof which was taken within 30 minutes prior to the commencement of unlawful hunting hours, or within 30 minutes after the cessation of lawful hunting hours. Wild birds and animals taken outside of the Commonwealth. It says nothing in this title shall prohibit the possession at any time of wild birds or wild animals that are lawfully taken outside of the Commonwealth, which are tagged and marked in accordance with the laws of the state of nation where the birds or wild animals were taken. It is unlawful to transport or possess wild birds or wild animals from another state or nation which have been unlawfully taken, killed, or exported. And then there's an exception. It says authorized individuals. Now, I'm not saying the Pennsylvania law is gospel, but this is what it says. This is 2307, section D, line 1, authorized individuals who euthanize critically injured game or wildlife, which shall be permitted when it's reasonable to believe that the chance of survival of the injured game or wildlife is minimal, or the injured game or wildlife poses a threat to human safety. individuals who find and retain for their own use any deer or elk antler, which is shed through natural causes. That's an exception to charges. This paragraph shall not be construed to permit any individual possessing a shed antler to sell, barter, or trade, or offer to sell, barter, or trade any shed antler. And then it looks like there's different penalties for what animal this happened to. I don't know why. A violation of this section is section 1, threatened or endangered. If it's a threatened or endangered species, it's a misdemeanor of the 2nd degree. If it's an elk or a bear, it's a summary offense of the 1st degree. If it's a deer, it's a summary offense of the 2nd degree. If it's a bobcat or an otter, it's a summary offense of the 3rd degree. If it's a wild turkey or beaver, it's a summary offense of the 4th degree. Any other game or wildlife is a summary offense of the 5th degree. All right, and some messages from the Bible. Psalms 39:1. I will take heed to my ways, that I sin not with my tongue. I will keep my mouth with a bridle when the wicked is before me. Exodus 23:22. But if thou shalt indeed obey his voice, and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy to the enemies, and an adversary to the adversaries. Exodus 4:17. Thou shalt take this rod in thy hand, wherewith thou shalt do signs. Hebrews 4:16. Let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need. Exodus 18:20. Thou shalt teach them ordinances and laws, and show them the way wherein they must walk, and the work that they must do. 2 Timothy 2:21. If a man therefore purge himself, he shall be a vessel unto honor, and sanctified, and meet for the master's use, prepared for every good work. Let not thy hands be slack. Zephaniah 3:16. 1 Peter 1:17. And if ye call him a father, who without respect of person judgeth according to every man's work, pass the time of your sojourning here in fear. Exodus 23:24. Thou shalt not bow down to their gods, nor serve them, nor do after their works. Thou shalt utterly overthrow them, and quite break down their images.